great day to be an Eagle. One more time for the greatest team in
All right, Cody. Well, senior day has come and gone. Final home game of the 2025 season. And it was the worst home game in our history.
Yes.
Old Dominion absolutely routing Georgia Southern 45-10, really 45-3, if we're being honest with ourselves, the late garbage time touchdown, but absolutely demolished. Not 1 minute of the game was competitive on our end. 31-0 at half. Negative rushing yards for the Eagles at the half. Eagles are now 5-6, and only hope for bowl eligibility is beating Marshall on the road. Probably not going to happen. I'm probably not even going to spend much time talking about that game, to be honest. But yeah, definitely just want to start with, again, what the largest deficit and worst loss, home loss in Georgia Southern history for a program that still remains in the top 5 in all of FBS for home winning percentage. It surpasses a record set, ironically, by Willie Fritz. The last game of the 2015 season. Quick backstory there, obviously, was that
his last game that he coached.
His last game that he coached, and rumor got out he told the team right beforehand, and they looked like they didn't want to be there and got demolished by Georgia State. This was so much worse 10 years later. I said on X, just an utter embarrassment.
So I think this is a good way to start off the show is a comparison of those two games, right? Because you're right, that 2015 loss to Georgia State was a complete embarrassment. But the fan base, we knew that we had a great team that was well coached, that at the time we knew was going to a bowl game, and there wasn't this sense of doom and gloom that I feel like a lot of the fan base has now, right? You were very positive toward what the future was. I don't think Fritz's announcement that he was leaving was out at that time, but shortly came out right after that game. And even then it was that there was positivity going into the 2016 season about where we were going, considering the team that we had. This does not feel like that at all. This feels like we are sort of just in the middle of an ocean trying our best to tread water, but we all know that we're drowning. There's nothing to stop it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what we try to do. The inevitable is that we are going to drown. Yeah. Is it just going to be in 5 minutes, or is it going to be in 5 hours? So that's, to me, the really key difference in, if you want to kind of compare those two losses, where we're at.
One was, I
one
said
was
on
a
X,
fluke.
One was a fluke. Yeah. 15 was a fluke. This wasn't a fluke. This is who we are. We are on our best day a average football team. This was far from our best day. We played a far from average football team in Old Dominion, a really good football team, not a great football team, but a really good football team.
I would say that they were a great
Sunbelt football team, G5 team.
Yeah. I think they are a really good team. Should that be an excuse for us to get blown out at home? No.
I don't care who we're playing at home. Yeah, we could be hosting Alabama and we should have lost 45-10. No, I'm sorry, exactly. We just shouldn't. We should.
But no, this was just an utter embarrassment, and honestly, from the start, right?
Yeah, it was
just. The
interception right out of the gate, first play, and then they come down. You just know they're going to score. You just don't know how fast or how many plays it's going to take. It took 3.
Correct.
And then, they get up 14-0 really early. And I think everyone who's either, the few that were in attendance, like yourself, Cody, or those, watching on ESPN Plus, including myself there, and doing it for the road. If you're watching on YouTube, and, notice the different background, or even if the audio is maybe a bit more poor than normal, it's because I'm not in Colorado. I'm actually in Georgia. Got here today at my parents' house for the Thanksgiving holiday. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone, if you're listening. But yeah, I drive in from Colorado, 22 hours, really tired.
Yeah.
But and man, it depressed me. My wife was doing that leg. I was like, look, I'm gonna get 3.5 hours in the passenger seat and maybe hopefully get an entertaining football game. It was anything but that.
Yeah.
And
No, you're right. It was
yeah.
Look, I'll be honest. I stayed until after the first touchdown in the third quarter, and then we left, which is probably about 2.5 quarters longer than what we should have stayed, to be honest with you. I so I have not really a lot, but I have strong opinions about the attendance yesterday. One, to me, it's a reflection of how poor the season has gone, how much we've came short of expectations. Two, also the lack of promotion and marketing from our athletic department this week, in which it didn't really seem like there was any sort of trying to feel any sort of excitement about this week coming up for senior day. No trying to push for students this day. No social media push or frenzy.
Special deals.
No special promos or anything like that. Correct.
Get local community out, get military out, get,
ticket announcements, no like ticket drops, just blah, just nothing. And honestly, that's on Chris Davis. It being just straight from the get. That's on him.
And let's be honest, it's been pretty piss poor for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
I know they've had here and there, they've had like some stuff, but it seems fairly non-consistent.
This year has been a noticeable drop. I felt like with Binko, at least there was some effort there from time to time.
From time to time, that's why I said it.
But this was noticeably quiet and just nothing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you had Thanksgiving, the whole week off, right? You could have easily pushed, hey, students, just stay just one extra day. You can leave to go home on Sunday. Just stay, just have one last party at Parkson or whatever shenanigans you can come up with.
Something, give them some promotion, give away pizza or something,
But, no, just, I
don't blame them. I don't, like, especially the students. So why would you stay for that? I mean, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
I would have been so mad if I stayed. I could be seeing my family right now, and you're watching that now.
Yeah, and so again, while I don't necessarily mad at the fans for the lack of for those that showed up, because the season has been relatively a disappointment. The lack of even trying for the effort to try to just get more butts and seats has to also be called out as well. So granted, if they would have tried to do their best and that's still what happens, okay, we get it. I wouldn't even say anything about the athletic department, but there was really no effort on their end, and that's just unacceptable.
No, I mean, it seemed like no one wanted to be there, including the team. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it looked. I had never seen. I mean, you talk about that 2015 and the comparison. I mean, again, super talented team. Obviously went on and won the bowl game under
Del McGee.
Under Del McGee, thank you. And it was just one lapse really of that season. I mean, I think that was the Navy. We played Navy that year too, and it got blown out. Possibly, or was that 14? I think that was 15.
That was 14. 14. Yeah, I can't remember when we played Navy.
I can't remember. But anyway, I mean, there were a couple of those. I mean, Fritz was far from perfect. I mean, we certainly had those lapses from time to time. But, it was just very different because, like, you watch that. I remember watching that at work when I was working at the newspaper. And I'm like, man, can it get worse than this? Well, the answer is yes, it can. And again, I mean, that one, we were a good team. We knew we were going to go to a bowl game already for the first time. We were coming off of a Sun Belt championship year. And then, with this one, I mean, there's no hope. There's no optimism. It fades with every passing week. Had the 2-game winning streak against, App and
Coastal.
Thank you. And, but I think both you and I and most fans were like, look, this is going to get squashed pretty quick once we get a good football team, whether it's at home or on the road. And we knew Old Dominion was that. Marshall, I think, is going to be that too. And Yeah, it just there's no optimism, there's no hope. The team looked, for everything to play for bowl eligibility, going out on a high note for the seniors, underclassmen doing it for the seniors. It looked like we were soulless. I
Yeah.
mean, like we just didn't want to be there. I mean, it's
No.
clear as day. I mean,
No. Yeah.
I know it gets controversial when you're calling out like players of like, oh, give up this and that. It's not a give up situation because they never showed up. There was nothing. There was no effort, enthusiasm,
No, they walked.
will to win.
They seem to walked out there as a team defeated already.
Yeah,
It really. I
yeah.
mean, they just kind of was just like it was. Honestly, it was almost like the game from last year just kind of picked up. And there was like no break, right? It was just like, all right, this is sort of like the start of the fifth quarter from last year's game, and it was
It
just
really did.
like, I mean, we're just gonna continue just to get our
We
butts
just
kicked.
knew that we had no answer.
Yeah.
I think the players knew that the coaching staff had no answer for what Old Dominion did exactly.
Well, that's
Like you
yeah,
said,
that's
what they did last year, same thing. They are who they are, right?
yep.
And
Except that
we,
they just ran Colton Joseph the whole time.
yeah,
I mean, pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, 300, what was it? 375 yards rushing, I believe.
189 or 190 of that was from him.
Yeah, and then 551 yards the defense gives up. Miraculously, somehow the defense improved in the FBS rankings. We're third from last now in total defense, behind Charlotte and Sam Houston. Somehow, I don't know how. I didn't look at their scores, but yeah, I guess they gave up more than 550 yards.
Well, Charlotte had UGA this week.
That's true. So that definitely skewed
maybe
the
that
numbers.
was a little bit.
Sure, but anyway, it's historically bad. It's the worst defense we've ever fielded.
But again, it's
yeah.
another year of Brandon Bailey getting completely out schemed and outmatched, and by the offensive coordinator of Old Dominion. And it's not like they did anything different. It's not like they completely changed their offense. They spread out. They're going to spread your secondary out, and they're going to see what the numbers are. And if you have a light box, there are some times in which I felt like I counted like 4 guys in the box, 4 or 5 guys max. I'm like, even somebody who has no clue about X's and O's, if I can look at the offense and the defense and can say, hey, there's 5 versus 5, or technically 6 versus 5, because the quarterback is just as good as a runner as any running back, and it's just an easy hat on hat block and let the running back go out as a lead block or whatever, or they motion in a tight end and you still get a numbers advantage. How is our coaching staff not seeing this and making some sort of an adjustment, whether they do some sort of 3-3 or, try to somehow get 7 or 8 in the box and do just man and just say, hey, if you're going to beat us one-on-one deep, fine, we'll go with that. But we're not going to just let you run all day on us. And I mean, even then, with the secondary, the coverage on it was soft. There was guys that were wide open by 5 or 6 yards, and we're just not. I don't understand how I can look at other comparative G5 programs in which I feel like their secondary and their defense is well better, or way more. My gosh, if I can speak, is better coached to such a degree that it looks like that we're being coached by guys that's not qualified to coach at a youth level. To be honest,
I agree.
Because we're either out of position, we have no answer for the scheme that we're going up against, and the fundamentals are out the window about how bad they are at times.
Yeah, it's atrocious.
And it's. I hope I do not care what happens at Marshall. I don't care if we hold them to 0 points and 0 yards for 4 quarters. The moment that plane lands, we need to be hiring a new defensive coordinator.
Why wait at this point? If it's already set in stone, what's the point?
I can sit here and say as to why we are waiting is because technically we still have a shot at being bowl eligible, and you don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage coaching wise by having one less coach.
Is that? I mean, I know this is going to sound harsh.
No, it can't.
It literally can't be.
That's the only.
I get. We don't have
thing.
An experienced staff behind Bailey. I get that no one on the staff has any defensive play calling experience at the college level. That's an easier decision, right? Especially like on the offensive side of the ball, if you've got like co-coordinators and quarterback coach who used to be a coordinator, or even if it's at like the FCS level or something like that. We've had that in the past, right? Where we've had up to like 3, maybe even 4 like play callers on the staff at once. But that's not the case. But it cannot get worse.
No.
So like to me, it sends a strong message, not just to the fans, because you can say like, oh, we're just a bunch of bots, right? Calmarero, and it's just a small number of people that are complaining. So it's not, like, not even about the fans, to the team, right? The soulless team that we saw out there in Paulson, like, send a message to the defense, to your defensive players, that like, hey, this isn't acceptable. We understand that it's been a disservice to you. Like, you deserve better than what we've been able to provide you.
Yeah.
And do something earlier and send a signal. And maybe that, is, an assistant coach, position coach that ultimately isn't going to be here, next year, but at least like it's something different. And it sends a message to them of like, hey, what we're doing isn't working.
Yeah.
We're sorry. We're going to do something, so like, I think that's the thing that fans are frustrated about. And I think the players are frustrated about, and you're seeing that come to fruition on the field, because it's just like, dude, why are we out there busting our butts for incompetent coaches?
Yeah.
Just incompetent coaches.
It is. And again, that would dishearten anybody and make anybody dread to go out there and do their job. If you feel like you're being led by somebody who isn't qualified, or they just don't have the chops to do what they
You see the business, right? Like, you see like employees quiet quit, right? And like, stop. Why am I gonna like put everything on the line and work 80 hours a week and whatever, when leadership is not, there's
no trust in them. Let's flip it over to the other side of the equation, the offensive side. This is now the third year that we've seen this defense, and Coach Applin has been here for all 3 of those years as either pass coordinator or the offensive coordinator, and we have no answer for this defense. We can't find any rhythm, we can't find any sort of adjustments to be made to try to attack and create some sort of mismatch of our own. And this has completely just baffled the entire offensive staff for now 3 years, including, I would also say, probably Coach Helton, who can't seem to figure this offense out either, right? So, or this defense out. So at this point, if I'm the head man and my offensive guy has now struggled for a similar style defense for 3 years, I think I would have to make some strong considerations to move on, because other teams are going to figure out, okay, what is ODU doing to kind of really slow down this offense? Can we then incorporate that into our defense to fluster them and to slow them down? And I will also say this would now be the second year in a row that we probably do not score more than 30 points on average per game. We were right at 30 going into this game.
Yeah.
Now, that is obviously below. And depending on what happens in Marshall, we will probably finish below that. I think we have to score 50 points in order to average just 30 points, and that's not
going to happen.
So, again, I think at this point,
the offense has been super inconsistent.
Yes.
And like, to your point,
not just inconsistent
playing
over games, but inconsistent during the game. You will have a half in which it is just the worst thing that you or I will see. And then you will have the same half, or the next half, in which it's the most unstoppable offense. And again, it makes second half. It makes no sense at all.
It doesn't. But what I was going to say is, when we're playing a defense that is worth their salt, it just all goes to hell. I mean, and that's the thing, is like, I mean, we move the ball better against USC than we have the last 2 years against Old Dominion, and Nebraska, and, insert Power 4 opponent here, I mean, hell, JMU has shut us down the last 2, or we beat them last year, but this year they shut them. I would say, like, we were able to move the ball. I don't have their stats and that the stats from that game in front of me, but I think we were able to move the ball better, not much better, but better against them. We weren't able to score points, but we were able to move the ball. Like, we could barely move the ball against Old Dominion. We finished with 249 yards. A lot of that came late, only 49 rushing yards. Again, negative rushing yards in the first half. That should never happen.
No.
And OJ gets taken out early. We lose Cobb early. I wish them the best, obviously, and want them to have a speedy recovery, but I almost am hesitant to bring that up because I don't want it to feel like a built-in excuse, right? Of we lost offensive weapons.
We weren't. If they would have played the whole game healthy, we still wouldn't have
came close
done
to
anything.
winning.
Yeah, no. Again, we were completely outschemed, we were completely outcoached, and it's just there's got to be a clean house. I mean, we've got to clean the house out. We just do. I'm afraid. I don't want to mention it, but I'm afraid of what may happen, because if we don't make any changes after the end of this year, I'm liable to just come out and just pull all donations and just be like, I'm done. And just
and I think most are.
I have to see something change. At the very least, it's got to be on the defensive side. It needs to be both. Yeah. Honestly, it needs to be everybody. But I'm so desperate that I will just take the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is there's being reasonable, and I mean, people have wanted Helton gone and everybody gone clean house situation for years now. Some have wanted it from day one, and but it's to the point. I think that's a powerful statement, Cody, because it's to the point where donors and season ticket holders like yourself are, at that point where is a point of desperation. It's I know what I ultimately want, but you also know that it's not going to happen. So you're just hoping, something happens, and that's just a terrible place to be. Because again, it's still a sinking ship. It's what is that doing? We're getting a bucket, right? You're getting a life jacket, but then you're still just floating out to sea.
Yes.
And, that's kind of what it feels like. It's there's no, I said on X, there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
And not only that, it feels like that the life jacket itself is losing air, because we're losing so much production in terms of players going into next season. So again, it just does not feel like we have the staff to right this ship, and it does not feel like we have the leadership to right this ship.
And like I said last week too, if we bring in who's signing up for this?
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, okay, let's say FCS, I get it. It's more money. You could double your salary easily, as a coordinator in FCS going up to, do you want to risk that? Or do you want to just stay another year at Stephen F. Austin, or stay another year at Mercer, or stay another year at West Georgia?
No, it's a valid question. Right. It's a valid, and ultimately I think that's going to have to be a personal decision as to, do you want to risk it or do you not?
Move your family there for something. I mean, we could bring in somebody and they could completely overhaul the defense. I don't think realistically, I don't care if it's, the best defensive coordinator in the country. I don't think you're gonna, magically make them. I mean, sure, transfer portal and stuff like that helps, but I don't think they're gonna go from third worst to top 10. But if you can get them in the top 70, something like that, that would be a miracle worker. But you don't run the offense.
No,
you're not coach. You don't run practices. You don't set the tone. You don't set
not the coach's dad who gets to just walk around and do whatever he wants to do.
But it's just, and that's my thing is why would you sign up for the circus? Because it's I get it.
That's why I made the comment earlier of it seems like this is being ran like a daggum Pop Warner football.
It does.
Program.
Son's the quarterback, dad, coach's dad's there with his grandson.
You have boosters, kids on staff. I mean, it really, that's why I feel like it's just getting to the point that the only way to really fix this is to just completely clean house. But I don't,
because we're not a serious football program.
No, I don't think that the athletic department's going to do that. I don't think that I don't think they're serious enough. I just
they're
don't.
Not serious enough.
and I think he's just going to ride it out for at least another year, if not 2. And honestly, I don't even know what's going to happen after that.
And the money thing is just an excuse.
Yes,
It just is.
that's what we need to bring up.
Yeah.
I don't care how poverty-stricken you think that we are. Anybody that says that we can't move on from this and get the money that we need to hire a better coaching staff and pay for the buyouts, it's completely crap.
It is. And literally I don't care if it's us, if it's a UL Monroe, or if it's a Penn State. No, we're not in a situation with Penn State where we can afford, whatever it is, 125 million or
Yeah.
like, but like we can afford 4. Is it going to set us back? Yes. Are we going to have to like live with that? Yes. Like, is it going to, it's not ideal, but like it's doable, and programs of every shape and size deal with it all the time.
And the other thing too that I also want to bring up too is that we've heard is that we don't have enough NIL money to be competitive within the Sun Belt. Well, that's also a farce too, because there's a lot of FCS programs right now that don't have our NIL money or any at all. And I guarantee you they would beat us on the field right now.
Mercer would beat us.
West Georgia would probably compete with us, if not beat us as well. There's several go look at the ESPN guy, SP Plus metrics in his rankings. You'll see a lot of them way ahead of us. And there would be a lot of programs that would probably wipe us clean on the field, both sides of the ball. And it's just, no, I'm not going to have that be an excuse too as to why we're not competitive. There's talented players out there. We live in a very talented, rich state, very talented, rich football, athletic state, just overall. You can find 80 to 100 kids that can play football.
They're just hungry, right?
Yes.
That just want it.
And to, again, the excuses that are coming from this athletic department and from within the football, it's losers make excuses.
Yes.
Winners find reasons to
succeed. Figure it out. Yes. Yeah.
I agree.
Right
now we have a bunch of people looking for excuses to explain themselves and not trying to find reasons to be better.
Yeah. Be solution oriented. And then if you do that and I'm not saying that there's not headwinds, that there's not like things, challenges that we face that maybe some other programs don't face, including
life is full of challenges, Matt. I mean, we've all got to see it through. All right.
I agree. And what I was going to say is if you face them head on and you're going to overcome them. You're going to you can find a way, and then it's going to take care of itself. Right? You get those hungry kids from Mercer, from West Georgia, from Stephen F. Austin. You get them here, give them an opportunity. Okay, maybe they ball out and they become all Sun Belt Conference players, and then they leave after a year. Okay, well then find the next batch. But like maybe you find that kid that is just happy with the playing time or the little bit of NIL that we can give them. I mean, they exist, just figure out a way. Not saying that there's not resistance, that there's not, speed bumps, but like figure it out and it will take care of itself. All of a sudden that money will be there then if you start seeing that consistent success, because you start seeing the uptick in production, the uptick in quality of product. But like I said weeks ago, like why I don't blame anyone for I don't even want to say threatening, for just considering pulling their money, because guess what? Like that's hard-earned money that people are investing in this program, and the product is not there. And
no, yeah, and especially when you feel like you're getting fleeced.
You're getting fleeced,
right?
Yeah, because you have no control of where that money's going.
Yeah.
You're not happy with the product on the field. I mean, it's just like anything. You're not gonna.
I think it gets back to that you don't trust the leadership to do what's right.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, name any product out there. I buy my favorite food. They change the recipe of the food. It starts tasting like crap. I'm not going to keep paying for that.
Correct.
You're doing a streaming service and you get it because you want to watch Stranger Things, but now all they have is anime on there. I don't like anime. Okay. You cancel that streaming service. Like it's
Yeah, you don't trust the athletic department to make the tough decision they need to make, and you don't trust the head coach to make the tough decisions he's going to have to make. And how does that trust built or deteriorated? Well, one, the win-loss record. Two, when you go out in front of a camera, either post-game conference or on your Monday news conferences, and you sit there and you talk like the whole daggone world's on fire when it's actually on fire. And you're just like, well, gosh darn it, guys, it's just, we really tried hard. No, I don't care. Everybody tries hard. Yeah. Everybody tries hard. We got our we got our butts whipped. And you got to come out there and you got to be honest with it.
Yeah, they didn't try hard.
What was it? Coach Huff, after this week, they got beat by South Alabama. Very honest, we have not played very good football the last 2 weeks. We have not played the Southern Miss football that we've set the standard to this year. He ended it positive by saying, but we have a chance to go out and still represent the West and to go out and go compete for a championship. But he was very honest that the last 2 weeks Southern Miss football has not been what he has hold them accountable to. Yep. We don't hear that from Clay Helton
ever.
It's just, well, we really tried hard.
It's the same talk.
It's just positive, and it's just like it is infuriating.
It's infuriating because of what we just said. We are peers with these teams. We are. I get it. Old Dominion has more money than us. JMU has more money than us, but they are a peer institution. Period. We're in a conference together for a reason. They are like-minded. They are, same talent level. You can argue we're in a much richer, talent.
Colton Joseph wasn't even recruited by anybody. That we just looked up. Their ODU looked up on him because of a connection to a high school team out in California, and the guy was like, "I think you should look at this quarterback."
Exactly.
And that's how ODU got. Nobody. Exactly. I mean. So it's not like Colton Joseph is some like 4-star guy that just fell into their laps. This was somebody that
they paid a bunch of NIL money to now.
This was a very good kid who happened to have gotten overlooked, and they.
That's my point. Is all these excuses? Like, I get it. Okay, like you're against USC. They're bigger, faster, stronger. They're making way more money. Coaches are better. Like, I get it. Different playing field, but this is G6 football. These are G6 teams. Yes, there's going to be some differences, but like these are peers that we should compete with, and we didn't compete for 1 minute of that game.
No.
And they weren't prepared. There was no effort to speak of.
We didn't compete for 1 minute last year when we went up on a Thursday night in Norfolk and got completely embarrassed. Yet it's
that's the thing.
It's wait and see. Are we going to make the tough decisions? What decisions will be made? We don't know. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Nobody wants to talk about it because I think we all know the truth, actually. I think we know that it's not going to be enough for what ultimately has to happen. Because again, it's just adding a lifeboat. It's just adding a life vest, whatever analogy you want to say, for a sinking ship. It's not like you said, or you're leaking roof.
Let's just talk this one out, because this is the one I'm most afraid of, because I just feel like this has a higher chance of happening than anything else, and I don't like that I feel this way. What if nothing changes at the end of the year? And
I don't see any world where you can do that. I just don't. Okay. I think everyone would pull their money. Not everyone, but I think they would be a mass exodus. I think season ticket sales would be at an all-time low for next year. No amount of marketing, no amount of magic touch, is going to, no amount of promotion or anything is going to get people excited. And I think, if that happened and we come out and we're 0-3 to start the year, or like a Summers type thing, like I think, you could, or even Lunsford, I think it could be like a 4 games in, and then everybody's gone.
Well, here's the other thing. Folks don't realize, I don't know, we haven't really talked about next year's schedule, but next year's schedule is no cupcake, at least starting out. It's Clemson, I think Jacksonville State, and Houston. So
we play Jacksonville State again?
I think. Let me go back and look. I do know that it's 2 P4s though that we have, because I was like, oh, that doesn't bode well for us, to be honest with you. But I do know, because you have to go out to Jacksonville State to do the return trip at some point.
For some why did I think that we already played them? Okay.
No, that was UAB that we've already done that.
That's right.
With, but we go to, so it opens up at Clemson, at Jacksonville State, and then we have the home game with Houston in Paulson. So
we very well could be 0-3.
Yeah. We very well could be 0-3 unless this FCS game gets moved up to the first game, in which point we may start out 1-3. Yeah. But it just does not look. We have a very tough schedule to open up with next year.
So that's the way I would do it, right? If I'm Chris Davis and I'm like, hey, something's got to give, you got to make change. And Helton, digs his heels in and says, no, I'm not budging. I'm not doing anything. I believe in the staff where they're going to turn around. I say, okay, you got 3 games. You got 4 games. That's basically what I say of look, you're putting all your chips on the table and doing that. I'm giving you an out here. You get a whole extra year. If you make this change on the defensive coordinator, if you're not doing anything, then you get 3 games. And if we're not 2-1, depending on who it is, I would say for that slate of what you just said, we need to be 2-1. Seriously. 3-0 is unrealistic, but we need to be 2-1. Find a way to beat either Houston or Clemson, beat Jacksonville State on the road, peer institution. And if not, everybody's gone. Clean house in week 4. But again, we're saying that as fans of if we had a magic wand, that's what we would do. We know that Chris Davis isn't going to do that.
No, I don't think so. He's not at all.
He's not. So, I don't see any world where, I don't know.
I just, the more that I just have this, and I think it's more just a fear, but it just seems like it's just not going away, that we're just not going to make any changes and that everybody's going to come back. And I know. I understand.
Here's the thing. I get it. You can call Helton a con man. You can call him all these things. That we're over the coach speak. We're over the, oh shucks, blah, 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 the efforts there. I don't think he's an unintelligent guy.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think he's so naive and so much in denial that he honestly thinks and believes some of the things that he has said, including this year of the coordinators are fine. I trust the coordinators. I'd hope that behind closed doors, he's not going to say it to Josh Aubrey. He's not going to say it to the fans, but I would hope behind closed doors, even if it's not to his fellow coaches or to his players, if it's to his wife, before bed of Brandon Bailey has to go, I would hope that he sees what we see, right? He's a trained eye. We're untrained eyes. Everyone can see it. So I would hope that he, if he truly believes, if he can look at giving up 460 yards a game and, everything, and even the Applin thing, but certainly on the defensive side, if he can look at that, go back and watch all the tape, and you say, there's potential there, and I want to run this back, and I want to do this again next year, I can't for the life of think that he is that dumb.
I can already tell you that the pregame episodes for next season are going to be short and sweet. We're going to get completely destroyed.
Yeah, if nothing changes, I don't even think. I think we could do one preseason episode.
Yeah, that'd be worth it. I mean, honestly, I just, it's just disappointing from where we had our expectations at the beginning of the season. It's on the coaching staff.
It is. It's on Helton.
And that's where it's going to have to be on Helton to fix it. And I don't know if he can. I really don't. I mean, has he shown anywhere where he can turn anything around?
Yeah, no, I know. And so let me break that down.
Can he change his own coaching philosophy from the failures of what has happened at USC and here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, what I was gonna say is like breaking that down. Do you say like he he doesn't know how to fix it, or he's too resistant and too prideful to
I don't
like
I don't know.
make the change, right? Too loyal to a fault.
That's a
Is it?
question to ask,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Will he be tougher on the players? Will we have
right,
tougher players?
right.
Or is he going to be everybody's best friend, buddy? You know, we're not UGA fans by no means, but we know good coaching when we see it. And there was a question posed to Kirby Smart earlier this week in which it talked about players transferring out of the UGA program because he's too tough or
Right.
that he coaches them too tough. And his response was, I like to go schedule the teams that they transfer to because I know that they're not as tough as we are, and I like playing those type of teams. And that's a
100%.
bold statement. That is a ballsy
100%.
statement.
He's not there to be people's friends.
No.
And, he's there to make them better players, better men, be disciplined, be tough, beyond cliche taglines, right? And that's the thing. You didn't see it at USC. You haven't seen it in the last 4 years here. Clay Helton coach teams are not tough. They are not disciplined. They are not prepared. They are not focused. They have fun. They like them. They get in and out, but
Yeah.
like and yeah, we've had low turnover. We've talked about it as a positive thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe the
I
reason we
need
don't have mass exodus every year in the transfer portal is because guys are just like, yeah, like I can make a little NIL money, not a ton. Maybe I can make more somewhere else, or I'm getting playing time, whatever, and maybe I wouldn't get that somewhere else. But like it's easy. I can coast.
Yeah.
I can do my school. I can do the thing. I'm not going to get yelled at and braided every day in practice. And they're good with that. And it creates like. I mean, not to get in like culture and stuff, but I mean, if you have like soft kids, soft generation, and all this kind of stuff already, that they're like conditioned with that, and then you're lenient on them, it's only going to feed into that more.
Yeah.
Where you like the Kirby Smart's kids are the same generation of kids as we have, right? They're all 18 to 22-year-olds, but Kirby Smart whips them into shape, and Clay Helton coddles them.
Yeah. No, and we that needs to change.
Yeah.
Will he change that? Will he see, well, you know what? Maybe that is a weakness that I've had since USC, and maybe that is something that I need to change. Or is he too stubborn and resistant to say, no, my way is the way that to do it, not what other coaches have done and that have been
At
more
this point,
successful.
that's not going to change. I think like, if that's just the way he is, like a player's coach is a player's coach. Very, very rarely
You can be a player's coach, but you can also have a toughness to you. Irk was a player's coach, but I guarantee you nobody would cross Irk or nobody would.
I would say Brent Pry at Georgia Tech is a player's
there's another
coach.
one. But there's a certain level of toughness that and accountability that he holds the team to, the players to. And if you don't meet it, you don't play, or you don't get to see the field, or you're off the team, or whatever the case may be. I mean, trust me, the way that the 80s to 90s or the 80s teams used to talk about Irk, he definitely was a player's coach, but I guarantee you he never let anybody slack up on discipline. I guarantee you he held everybody accountable to whatever the rules were, to whatever high standards he had set for the team back in the 80s. It never wavered from anybody.
Yeah, and I think the staff matters there too, right? Of like what you surround yourself with, because everyone can play a role. Like, can you have
is Brandon
that?
Bailey a tough coach?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like, come
Applin.
on.
As Applin, as any of the assistants, right? We had that with like Richard Owens. I think he got after it, right? But like we don't have even that position coach really that I'm aware of that you're seeing yelling, getting people online. Hey, you missed that block. Hey, you missed that assignment. Hey, that you ran the wrong route. And just like laying into them. You don't see that anywhere. Where you saw it maybe here and there at some point across these last 4 years, but now we've got a soft team because it's a collection of soft coaches, of lenient coaches, not just Helton. It starts at the top and the buck stops with him, but it is who you surround yourself with. So
Yeah.
again, if he goes out and gets like the meanest, you know what, and that whips the defense into shape and like sees results, great, but like, is that the type of person that he wants to bring into this culture? Because
He needs to.
he
He needs to
to.
recognize that's what he needs to bring in.
Yeah.
It's just there's certain things in which if you look at it again, if Clay Helton wants to take the next step in success and actually be some sort of championship tier, consistent championship coach, he's got to look at what he's been doing over the last 10 years and think, I've got to change some things here. Whether it's personality wise, whether it's coaching philosophy wise, or whether it's just how I handle assistants and coordinators and how
Does that ever
I
happen?
interact.
Do you
Yeah, look at
recall a name?
Saban. Okay, so a good one is Saban, right? You look at the first couple of championships he had at Alabama. He was very much a very run-oriented, control the ball tempo.
But his
lean
culture
heavy on.
didn't change. He was always very accountable, hard on the players, demand perfection.
It was a culture change to bring in Lane Kiffin. I mean, that was a completely different style of personality there.
It was. That's true.
And he was able to mesh well with it. Now, did he still hold him tough? Yes. I feel like every story Lane Kiffin tells on whatever he's interviews on about Nick is hilarious because it always starts with Nick was yelling at me, but I just was like, okay, whatever. But again, it shows that there's coaches do have to change in order to adapt to whatever the changing times are and to continue to be successful. Again, look at somebody who hasn't, Dabo Swinney. Very much success in the early 2000s, right, with Clemson.
Yep.
Hasn't really adapted too well to the new culture and landscape of college football.
To the transfer portal and NIL era.
Clemson has suffered from it.
Yeah, they have.
So is Dabo any different of a coach? Does he stress defense any less than what he did when he was making those national championship runs? I felt like the quarterback he had this year was maybe not as talented as Trevor Lawrence or Deshaun Watson, but was definitely at the level to where they could have competed to win the ACC.
Yeah, underutilized, yeah, for sure.
But obviously, they're not going to. They may not even make a bowl.
Yeah.
So, again, I think they're 5-6. They could be 6-5. But I don't pay attention to them.
Yeah, I think they're 5. So they're somewhere around there, yeah.
But again, you have to, and it's not just coach. I mean, it's with jobs. I mean, Lord have mercy. With data, I have to continue to make sure that I'm up to date on either the new data warehouses, new languages, or whatever the case, new technologies, new reporting visualizations that we use. You have to continue to always be adapting and be changing. Right. Same thing in coaching. Same thing in any other career. Right. Like you have to be willing to adapt to the times that you're in. If you're not, you're going to get left behind.
I saw it in the journal. I saw it in journalism like early on. I got there. I get looked at as this like young kid at the time, but I'm doing everything for like half the pay that these like reporters like, hey, I'm going to follow my story. I'm going to take a whole day to write it, whatever. I'm going to write it for print only and not adapt it for online. I'm not taking pictures. I'm not doing video. I'm not doing all this other stuff. And then you get like young people that come in that can do all that at a high level. Way faster. And that's who they go with. It's that. And then you see some people that are trying and some, don't have the chops to do it. Others, at least they put in the effort and try. But like if you're not willing to adapt, if you don't actually have that want to you're gonna fail. You're gonna get phased. You're gonna get phased out. And I think that's a really good comparison to kind of like which one do we think Clay Helton is? Is he so stuck in his own head of like, hey, this is what I want to be Dabo Sweeney. That
Mm-hmm.
this is what I believe is the way to run a football team. This is the, the culture I want to build. This is, regardless of all of the other headwinds happening in college football, like this is the organization I want to run. Or are you going to be a Nick Saban and be like, I hate it? And eventually it drove Nick Saban crazy and he
Yeah,
retired. Like it got to the point where he's like, I'm not having a good time anymore.
correct.
And that's fine. That's a choice you have to make, but like at whose expense, for
Yeah.
us, like at least Nick Saban was still having success. He wasn't,
Well,
he stopped
that's
having fun.
again, that's where you have to look at and say, okay, this is what I want to do, but the results are not what I want. So the process has to change somewhere.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're going to get the same results.
Yeah.
He's going to continue to get failing and lackluster results.
Yeah.
Right. And if he ever wants to try to even contend to be a head coach at somewhere bigger, if he can't show that he can win here, why would anybody like South Carolina or Mississippi State or
Yeah.
some ACC, Wake Forest or Duke? Why would any of them consider? Well, I mean, if you can't, I mean, Georgia Southern is right there in the hotbed of South Georgia talent, and you can't even have them competing, by
I agree.
November.
I agree.
Why would I have you here when I can go hire somebody else that may be a little bit more up and coming, and I don't have to deal with your whole family shenanigans on the side too?
100%, because that's the thing is like it shouldn't be hard to win here.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't.
Period. It shouldn't. Like I get it. I'm not saying it's easy, but it shouldn't be. It's not impossible to win here. It's not ULM. It's not a MAC team. Like you see that with like these coaches that come through of like a Kent State or someone like that, right? The guy
Yeah.
that went in and was OC at Colorado, and I think he's at like San Diego State or something now. And like, he got all the praise, and rightly so, for having like Kent State at like 500, because it's like this is literally the best it gets.
Yep.
Like competing for a bowl game every year is the best it gets at Kent State. That is not the case at Georgia Southern. It shouldn't ever be the case at Georgia Southern. It's a recruiting hotbed, whether you get it through high school, whether you get it through transfer portal and give people an opportunity. It's in a good six conference in the Sun Belt. We have the legacy, we have the history. We don't just have to run the triple option to do it. Like, it's
And not only that, you have a fan base that actually shows up. I
you
mean,
have a supporting
outside
fan
of
base.
this last home game, the fan base, especially the students, showed up for the other 5.
Facilities are getting there, and that's the thing is like we are positioned to be a really good competitive G6 program, but we have to have the right people steering the ship.
Yeah, you have to.
And yeah, and that's the thing. There are like truly poverty programs out there that again, 6-6 is the best it's ever going to get. For us, that's not the case, but it's becoming the case with who we have steering the ship. And most people, myself included now, are not hopeful that it's ever going to get better than that. As long as Clay Helton is here, we're mediocre at best.
So far, yeah, because that's always provided. That's always shown is that we're mediocre at best, right? I mean, last year was the best record at 8-5, and again, that was still with a terrible bowl loss.
Yep.
It was,
and people and as a lot of people have pointed out, like let's be honest, we got two of those wins were fluky. Was that even on? Was Marshall really on coaching, or was that on Dexter Williams?
It was on. Well, it was on Dexter Williams and their quarterback not to be able to hold on to a football. If they don't turn the ball over in the fourth quarter, we don't win that game. We just don't.
Yeah.
And so, it was again, the Marshall game is a very good one to point out that that wasn't really coaching. It was more that Marshall gave it away, or at least gave us the opportunity to have the chance to win the football game. And Dexter Williams and was a Burgess, took advantage of it. So again, it was, that's a great point with that, is that 8-5 could have very easily been 7-6, or could very easily have been 6-7. I mean, it really could have been last year, but no, it's, right now mediocrity is what we have right now. And there's nothing to show that it will get better.
No, there's not.
And it doesn't matter. We have a hodgepodge made up team like he had the first year he was here, or if he has a team that seems to have all the pieces in place to be really good. 500 at best. 500 at best.
500 at best, and maybe luck out to get 7 or 8 regular season wins.
Yeah,
but maybe
if you get some luck. But are we going to make a deep run for the Sun Belt? No, can't have shown that we can't do that. Are we going to make any sort of really big time like upset really good schools? I don't say Nebraska was a really big like upset of a good school because they weren't good when we played them. Like could we have beat USC this year? No, no Clint. Do I have any faith that even with Clemson being as bad as what they've been this year, do we have any shot of beating them? No. Do I have any shot of Houston coming in? No. In fact, the Houston
Willie Fritz is going to break. He's going to break
Willie
the record.
Fritz may break the record of worst home loss.
Yeah.
In September. So you would have within 2 games that record being broken within 2 or 3 home games, right? So yeah, no, it's just not a good time to be a Southern fan. It's very few things to look positive towards, at least at the football program where it's at now.
And it's just it's a depressing state of affairs because it's like we want so badly for that, to hold on to that hope and be optimistic. But we haven't been shown in 4 years really anything to be. Again, we had it going into this year. We drank the Kool-Aid.
Yep.
And we admitted that. But it maybe didn't fully look at the body of work over the 3 years before it, or even just last year. Like I said, 8-5 easily could have been another 6 and 7 season.
Yes.
But we drank it, and here we are. We're staring at 5 and 7, the worst possible record. In the Clay Helton era.
Yeah.
In year 4, when his first class is senior. So,
no, I mean that's it.
It's rock bottom.
I
think this is rock bottom.
Yeah, I think so. We got Marshall this week. Marshall is also 5 and 6. They somehow lost to App State. I don't know how. I haven't looked at their game. Don't care.
I don't care either.
I really.
I was gonna say. You at least know their record. I know some of their earlier games. After the way we've shown, I don't care.
I will say this: if we play as bad as what we played on Saturday, it won't be close. Marshall, I feel like at least has some sort of an edge. It is their senior day. It
didn't matter for us.
I think well, here's why. It is their senior day. I think for that team, with so much that left to go to Southern Miss and elsewhere, and for so many folks to sit there and I think really dog the team going into the season, saying that you're going to finish last, you're probably not even going to win more than 2 games.
Yeah.
We don't even really think that your coach is that great. A lot of y'all are transfers from Power 4 programs or didn't really play much wherever you came from. I think it would probably mean a lot to them, and I think it would be a kind of a thumb in the, or a finger in the air to everybody else about the team if they can pull off 6 and 6 and go to a bowl, and would give them hope going into next year as to the program is on the up and up.
I agree. Their trajectory is very different.
I would
than
much
ours
rather
right
be
now.
in Marshall's shoes right now than in our shoes.
Because no one expected anything of them. There wasn't high expectations. It was very much like that Kent State example where it's just like, oh yeah, you're telling me like in year 1 after getting gutted, losing everybody from that championship squad, and you put together a ragtag group with a new coach, new head coach, and all that, and can make a bowl game. Yeah, that's great. For us, it's just like, oh, we made a bowl game. Like, like it just to, again, go lose for the 4th year in a row. Like, do we even want that?
No.
As a fan, I don't want that.
I mean, do I want 15 more practices by a defense being led by Brandon Bailey? No, I don't.
No.
I mean, the keys to the game is very simple. It has been the last whole year. Is can the offense outscore what the defense gives up? It just is what it is. We're not going to stop the run. We're not going to stop hardly anything.
Can the offense have a clean sheet? Not turn the ball over on the first play?
Correct.
That's the thing. Every time we play Marshall, whether it's at home or there, it's weird. It's always just a weird game for some reason. I think the last time we played up there was a bunch of
Or maybe
turnovers.
that
It
could
was a
have
lot
just
of.
been Charlie Huff, because every time we played a Charlie Huff-led team, it was always weird. But yeah,
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
but yeah,
Ball bounces a weird way, and it's
you're
just
right. With Marshall, the game's always strange. I'm sure there'll be no exception to this. I'm sure that with it being 5-6 for both teams, and maybe both teams actually really wanting to try to win this game, it could be some weird things that happen. I don't know.
I'd be surprised. I mean, we're wildly inconsistent when it comes to like showing up, but we're not good at on the road. We have gotten better the last 2 years. We've gotten better in November the last 2 years, but we're still wildly inconsistent on the road. And
Yeah.
if you can't get up for that Old Dominion game and for senior night and for final home game at Paulson, are you going to get up for this game in Huntington? I just, to me, I'll almost be like, I don't want us to come out flat. I want us to come out uninspired. But like, if we come out like this is our Super Bowl and all, it's like, where was that? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost
I'll
more
tell you where
frustrating
it
as a
was that.
fan.
I think they just realized they were going to be outmatched and out schemed, and they were just going to get blown out. So let's just get
Yeah.
it over with, and we'll go up to Marshall and take our chances.
And then we'll take our chances. At
Yeah,
Marshall.
but I mean, again, we should never be in that situation.
We shouldn't. Not against a conference
No,
opponent.
not against a conference foe. But no, you're right. I feel like it was onslaught, early domination from the beginning. At least against USC, you felt like you were kind of in it for a quarter. You weren't even in this game at all. No, but we'll see what happens. It's going to end up one or two ways. Either we're going to get blown out again, like we were against Old Dominion, or it's going to be like the Coastal game, in which either we get up big and we win it close, or we'll get up big and we'll lose it.
Has your opinion changed at all? So you said last week that, we had won those 2 games against, App and Coastal, and you basically said, look, no, it doesn't matter what happens in these next 2 games. Like, what's going to happen is what's going to happen. Like Hilton's here to stay at least for another year. Like, same thing now after 45-10. Like, if we go up there and get completely ran out of stadium,
do I think Helton is still the coach? Yes.
Yeah.
Would I want him to be the coach? I after that game, no. It's after how we got beat against Old Dominion, and
I don't want him to be the coach now. No, I'm serious. Like 45-10 is a fireable offense.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Especially 4 years in.
Yeah, it just is. It's for our program. We should never be embarrassed like that in Paulson, period.
No, we shouldn't.
Again, I don't care who we're playing.
To me,
I don't care.
It's at the very least coordinators and whole staff on both sides of the ball.
If regardless,
after this,
regardless, even if we win,
yes.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that will happen? I don't think that will happen.
And you said both.
Yes, both. Yeah. Because I don't
have no way is that happening.
Trust that Ryan Applin is going to figure out Old Dominion's defense. I don't have any trust that he's going to figure out JMU's defense.
No.
I don't have really any trust that he can keep an offense consistently good throughout an entire game, and that it seems like play calling just has really times where it's really good and then times where it's really bad, or we just completely forget about a player. Like Camden Brown was now not even a factor at all in this game.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we didn't even really try to include him in any sort of, and you're like, well, maybe ODU had, okay, well, what did ODU do? Did they double cover him? Because if they double covered him, then somebody should have been open on the other side of the field.
Yeah, Sanders is open,
All right. If they didn't, I'll be honest with you, there was 1 or 2 plays in which I felt like he was open on a deep go route, and we just missed him. And I'm just like, why not even why are we not even just chugging it up to him?
Yeah. Well, no, exactly. And
when you're down 17-0, you might as well just go 4 verts and let's just throw it to that guy down there and just give him.
Well, that's the other thing is, you're not. We like quarterback, we've seen it time and time again of like
Here's
just
the
like
thing.
the
Have
coordinators.
you seen any development positive out of JC French? Is he
Not
any
really.
better this year than what he was last year?
No.
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 So then again, if you have this inconsistent play call and you have this inconsistent flow of the offense, you don't really see the position that he coaches where the quarterback is getting better. Where are we at? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What, you know?
Yeah, and it's frustrating when you see potential on the bench
Yeah,
that is being underutilized,
correct.
and Weston Bryan. I mean, he can be really good. No, I don't think he's our savior right out of the gate. I don't think, like, I get there's still a lot of development that needs to happen there. But yeah, to your point, okay, second year in JC French, like, what are they doing? Like, has he actually gotten better? Yeah, he's had some good games. He's had some good halves, but still very inconsistent, still mistake prone, and those are, you know, those can't happen. They can't happen against good teams. They can't happen
Yeah,
against ODU. They can't happen against Sam Houston, right? First pass against Sam Houston in the bowl game, pick six. First pass against ODU, interception set up, touchdown 3 plays later. With our defense, with any defense, but like with our defense, like, you're gonna cripple us
yeah,
like that. You cannot. It's not fair, but like, you cannot make those mistakes. You
no.
can't. And but the thing is like, we're gonna keep rolling them out there. I mean, like, there's no reason for him to have even played in the second half of that game, in my opinion. It was 31-0.
Mhm.
Everyone knew that we weren't coming back in that game. Like, it wasn't Southern Miss. It wasn't, like, everyone
Yeah.
knew, like, there's no way.
At least in
And
Southern Miss, you could see where the ball was moving down the field, and then we would have our
yeah,
mistakes. They just
right.
stopped us. I mean, we just
They just,
weren't doing nothing.
no.
But yeah, again, this what now is his third year in some capacity trying to defeat this defense, and he can't do it. Can't figure it out. So again, I don't know what to say besides that I have no confidence right now.
Yeah, there's no faith. There's
Yeah,
no faith. And that's the thing is, like, if that's the case, and I'm right there with you, if that's the case, then we know what has to be done, but we don't have confidence in the AD or the president to do it.
correct.
Because, like, if you don't have faith in the leadership now, it's not going to magically get better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't thought about this scenario. Even if we do get rid of both coordinators, what if he hires two people that we look at their resumes and it's like, this isn't any better, right?
No matter. Yeah, you get the
Like
next
he
man,
hires
the next
some
staff one.
position coach off of a P4 program that has no prior defensive coordinator experience. It's just this
Yeah.
guy looks like he came from a big time program. So
Like
he
Will
may-
Harris again.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
It's just he's an up and comer guy. We got to give him a shot somewhere. No, I don't want somebody that just have their shot. This isn't a let's get your first shot here type program. This is I want you to come in with some experience. You can go down to the FCS level and find somebody that can prove it.
that's what I'm saying, man. Like, and again, like, if it's a budget thing, okay, like, you're saying you can't afford to, like, fire everybody and move on. Well, take some of that and invest in, bring in the best group of group 6 coaching staff you possibly can, right? Like, if I'm Helton and my reputation's on the line, and it's like, hey, no, like, hey, this is not going well. But I know how to fix it. First, we got to overhaul the defense, but I'm going to need dollars to make that happen. Like, yeah, you can go the FCS route. And I think both you and I are keen on that because there's a lot of talent there. We've named some names, but like, go get the best group of 6 sitting defensive coordinator right now. Like, go Toledo. I think we looked it up on like a previous, like, I don't know if that was when we were on air afterwards. I think it was afterwards, but like, we like just looked up defensive rankings. I mean, I've got total defense right here, and like
Toledo's like third or something.
Yeah, Toledo's second now.
Okay, there you go.
So, but between Ohio State and Oregon, they're giving up 231 yards.
I mean, we did it
Go
with the offensive line coach. We went out and got the best offensive line coach in the group of 5, and we brought him here. Why can't we go out and try to make some run at Toledo's defensive coordinator?
Instead of spending $4 million, go and pay $500,000 a year.
Yes.
And go get the best, right? And
that's
overhaul
a
that
great
defense.
Point. If we're going to spend $4 million just to get rid of Coach Helton, then take take that money that we would and go get you an overspend on a defensive coordinator or something. Yeah, no.
And then offensive coordinator too.
Yeah.
Say, look, I can't do everything. I'm trying to run my program the best way, but I've got inexperienced guys here.
Yes.
We need an experienced staff. So yeah, go get Toledo's entire defensive staff. Go pay double the salary of the defensive coordinator and give all the position coaches $50 to $1,000 more.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's still going to be a fraction of what it would cost to get rid of everybody. So go do that and then say, hey, like, Helton's out at, like, defense isn't a priority for him. It never has been. But it's like, hey, go run your defense. You worry about that. You worry about that side of the ball. Get us the ball, and then we're going to figure out offense. And you just let them, you let them run it and go from there. But, look, scoring offense, North Texas obviously is number one there. I think their head coach has a lot to do with that.
Yes.
South Florida is number 5. But, James Madison is in there at 14, UNLV, Memphis, UConn. I mean, who's UConn's offensive coordinator? Is it Mora?
Who I would get, and I haven't researched it, but I do know that they score a lot of points. Is Western Carolina's whoever's running the offense at Western Carolina?
Yeah,
they've scored a ton of points.
Yeah.
So, but again, I never thought I would ever say that we should go hire the Western Carolina offense, mastermind, but. These are the strange times that we live in, folks. But but no, you're right. If we're unwilling to spend the $4 million over the next year or 2, 3 for the buyouts, then at least use that money to go and get the best coaching staff we can get.
If you're Chris Davis, again, if you're a good AD, you look at the head coach and you say, look, let's first admit that there's a problem, right? Things aren't going well. How do we fix it? And if you believe that the head coach is the guy, but like he needs the right tools around it, right? He needs the right guys around him to make it happen. You say, what's it going to take? All right, now let's talk about it together. Let's look at the budget sheet. Let's crunch the numbers. And then you say, like if they actually had a plan and a vision and that was like, well, communicated, I think a lot of fans would be better. I think they could digest that. But, we feel like it's not there, that is clueless, and that, or they're just like maybe on the AD side more clueless, maybe on
I feel like they're okay with the results. Not so much clueless as that they're just okay. We're
complacent.
We're
complacent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again,
we'll win some, we'll lose some. It's fun.
That's a really tough team we went up against. We should be a really tough team that everybody goes up against. We should be a really tough team that people lose to. I'm tired of adversity builds a strong brotherhood. No, that strong brotherhood and adversity should have been built in the off season through a tough as nails off season workout. And I mean, just spring, summer, everything to where the games are much easier than anything you face in the off season.
I agree. I want a grueling,
but now we're getting adversity because I don't want adversity through losing football games.
Mm-hmm.
I want to win every game. I want to win every game. I don't want adversity built through losing. I don't want character built through losing.
Or injuries and all that. Yeah.
I want that character building. I want the toughness. I want discipline. All that needs to be built in an off season of workouts and practices that make anything that we face in a game look like a cup, make it way harder.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I want
I'm tired
everyone. I want all the coaches and all the players to show that emotion, show that they really are truly upset, because we're not seeing it. We're not, losing should suck. And, it just seems like, and it's not everybody. I get, it's a big team. It's not every coach, it's not every player, it's not every part of the staff, but there are certain, and we've heard the rumors, not even rumors. We've had past players that have left that said there are people within the locker room that don't take winning seriously. And, I believe that. I believe that former player. And the question is how deeply rooted is that?
Yeah.
How that is a cancer mentality. How much has that cancer spread? Right? How deep does it go?
Yeah.
And are we talking about 2 guys? Are we talking about 20 guys? Are we talking about 90% of the locker room? Again, I'm not saying that every single person in there, that no one cares, that it just is what it is. We'll just show up, go through the motions. It's fine. But how many are in that other camp?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's what's so, because I feel like with every passing game, it's more and more like, hey, yeah, it seems like that we're just not committed to winning.
No.
Like, the players are okay with it, complacency, the coaches are okay with it, the administration is okay
we're just
with
here
it.
for a good time. And
We're just here
for everybody to just, I don't know, kumbaya.
Kumbaya. Yeah, kumbaya.
But no, I'm tired. I'm tired of this will make us stronger and tougher and bring us closer together. No, all that team building crap should have been done in the off season.
Yeah.
This is the time to hand out butt whoopings and to other teams. I don't care about. I don't want us to build unity through losing. That's a terrible mindset to set.
It is.
It is a terrible way to look at it. No. It should be losing sucks. We're gonna fix it as soon as the off season gets over with. There's gonna be a lot of changes, and there's gonna be a lot of different people around these parts, because I ain't accepting this.
Yeah, no,
that should be where we're headed.
Yeah. I mean, it's the classic example of you get do you want to be here or not? What do we truly have common goals?
Yeah.
Do we have,
I feel like there's not the mentality of that they hate losing more than they love winning.
There's not.
There's not that mentality.
There's not.
Winning's great. Losing's okay. Winning's great.
Yeah. Losing's palpable, right? Losing is taught we can tolerate it. It's no, losing shouldn't ever be tolerated.
Nope.
It should never be tolerated. I think no, it's a great point, and you're starting to see the guys leave, and the excuses they're leaving for NIL because we don't have. No, they're leaving because we're not a serious football program. They're leaving because they want to go somewhere, hopefully, where they can be developed, where they can, compete for a championship, where they have brothers around them, a true brotherhood around them that cares as much as they do about winning and hates losing as much as they do. But when you don't have that, again, just with the analogy of a workplace, if everyone else around you is just half, the work and doing whatever, you're not that motivated.
No.
Right? You can be have the best work ethic in the world, but it's if they're doing half the work and and the leadership is fine with it, why am I busting my butt?
Yeah. No.
Why am I doing it? I'm not going to work 80 hours if they're only working 20. So yeah, I think that's just where we're at, and it starts at the top. If you don't have that commitment to winning at the top, it's gonna spread, and you're gonna push out the guys that truly want to win and want to be pushed and want to be better.
Yeah. I really would wish that we would have some of the more upper echelon donors to speak out. I know maybe it's not the way to handle things, but it would be nice if some top donors would come out and say that this isn't acceptable and start putting the screws to the athletic department.
I think that's what it's going to have to take. I mean, it's not even just there's vocalizing it, but put the money where the mouth is, right?
Yeah.
It's I think it's gonna take, and it can be a village mentality. It can be everybody, the smaller donors, medium donors, all pulling together and pulling their money, right? Like, yeah, that could work too. But I think we have to hit them where it hurts. We have to hit them in the pocketbook, right? And I hate to say that, like, I'm not like, but yeah, I mean, it's just there's this narrative being put out there by the school, whether it's Dr.
No,
Marrero,
I mean,
whether
if
it's
they want to
Chris
sit there and complain about money, then by God, we'll just take it all and go home, and then you can see just exactly how much of a program you can run.
Mhm.
It just won't be football either.
No.
I just don't try to put your failures on people who want you to succeed that have no say as to what happens on and or off the field.
Yeah.
No fan has ever sit there and called a play. No fan has gone out there. Well, maybe some fans have recruited, may or may not illegal or likewise. But no fan has gone on a recruiting trip and set the stand and tried to recruit or not recruit a kid. No fan has sat there and put together the scheme and the plans, week in and week out to go up against your opponent. No, that's just in this. Nobody thought at the beginning of the season that we didn't have the talent to win. I didn't hear that. Nope. No. A lot of people a lot of people in the Sun Belt thought so because we led the league in first and second team Sun Belt preseason. I guarantee you we're not leading the league in that this year for the postseason recognitions. So no, you don't sit there and blame the fans when it's clearly that the problems are elsewhere. If you're sitting there saying, oh, we just need more money, well, why would I invest more money in what you already have when you're not using it to the best of your ability?
Yeah, it's what I said weeks ago. Like if you're putting money in stocks and doing whatever, like you're not going to just blindly do it. It's your
heart. If the stock goes down, you're not going to sit there and continue to pump money. And if the company's not showing a plan to improve it, right?
Correct.
It's if their only plan is give me more money, that's not really a plan for success.
That's not a plan. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Show us the vision, show us the roadmap, show us what you want to build.
Yeah.
And show us actionable steps to get there. And not just like, we want to win the Sun Belt, we want to be one of the top G6 teams, and we want platinum elite, blah, blah, blah. Right? Like, no, stop with the buzzwords and all this kind of stuff. And
you're done with your fancy words.
Like, what are we actually doing? What are we trying to emulate? Like, how do we become James Madison? They clearly figured it out. They figured it out was post Signetti. Now they might lose Bob Chesney.
I thought about this a little bit, and I honestly think it's because they have competent athletic director and leadership in their athletic department.
Well, even that, I believe, and I could be mixing this up with another school, but I believe they had like the same athletic director for like 40 years or something, like a really, really long time. I think that person just retired.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they started.
And I remember from Twitter and whatever, like people were nervous because they were like, this was the one like consistent, and they took it seriously, and they knew how important it was, and they always invested in it. And the revolving door of head football coaches, and they always get it right. But like that was the constant was the AD, and then they get the next guy in, and I don't know if it was from within or someone else, but like that's working too.
I think it's leadership. It comes down to leadership within the athletic department, leadership within the football program. And right now, I don't think we have a leadership in the athletic department that demands excellence. I just don't.
No.
There's no confidence in that right now. It could well change. I could just be very frustrated because this has been one of the worst weeks of athletics within all of Georgia Southern in a very, very long time. But it just does not seem like there's a commitment to excellence within the athletic department.
No,
and that they're just okay with being okay, and they just seem to be just trying to raise money to just increase their salaries.
Yep.
I mean, that's all it seems like. They just want to raise money so that they can increase their salaries. And I just don't feel like there's a commitment to success.
It's true. I mean, you see it like we get our hopes up of even outside of football, right? With volleyball, with with golf, with women's tennis, with men's soccer this year. Now they got kind of screwed over, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
But still, it's like, but they got eliminated in the first round by UCF. So it's like you're seeing all this momentum, and then it just like
we just got demolished. I mean, volleyball out first round or the first match, and they had high hopes. They were supposed to be
huge hopes.
Contending for the conference. Nope, not even close. Men's basketball just this week is just unfortunate, just terrible. Women's basketball went out to Missouri State and just laid an egg out there. Yeah, it's just been a very frustrating week all the way around with the athletic department, and just again, we'll see what happens.
Morale's just really low.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We'll see what happens with baseball. I don't know. In rifle, Lord, I've got baseball. Rifle.
That might be the one. Rifle, honestly, might be. I don't want to put that on baseball because like we've had constants there, and it's just like you talk about not mediocrity, but it's just like always a bridesmaid, never bride. Like as like with that one, it's like we're just okay, hitting a certain win threshold or whatever it is, but like we can't get over that hump. So yeah, rifle might be the saving grace. But
yep.
Well, Cody, I think
we're way over.
We're way over, and we've not thanked our sponsors, which is the longest we've ever gone. We haven't even no, we didn't introduce.
Okay, well,
so that's
you're mad. I'm Cody. Gotta talk. Yeah. Woo.
Go subscribe on YouTube. But we do thank our sponsors. So Can Cut Tools, our title sponsor. I did not hear from Andy Thompson with this one. I'm sure he's depressed. There's not really anything to say. This is a culmination of what we knew. Yeah. So, but we do thank Can Cut Tools. Go check them out. I did get some intel from him of just like, again, they do a lot of stuff with Jeeps, like Jeep conventions and, fabricators. What did he say? There was a term that I had not heard before, and shade tree mechanic, Cody. A shade tree mechanic. I've never heard that before.
Talking about what?
So it's like hobbyist mechanics.
Okay.
And they call them shade tree mechanics, but it's like serious DIY or DIY mechanics essentially.
Okay.
Right.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard it. So he's like, yeah, our market is automotive tech, fabricators, repair, body professionals, and DIY shade tree mechanics.
All right.
And I said, today I learned what a shade tree mechanic is.
According to Google, it's an amateur professional who works on cars in their spare time. Traditionally outside under a tree rather than a commercial garage.
There you go. Yeah.
Fun fact.
Fun fact, but it's not the one that you're like, I'm trying to save money and change my oil. It's like you're taking it seriously. But anyway, so that's what these drill bits and cutting tools are for, right? It's not for everybody. It's not if you just need to get a job done and go to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. These are like, it's well made, all made in the USA products. So we get that it's not for everybody, but you probably know somebody, right? Cousin, uncle, friend, you name it, that could benefit from these products. So go spread the word of that. You can find them at cancut.com. It's KNKUT.com. And then our secondary sponsor, Section 103, apparel. Seeing new stuff from them release almost at like a weekly cadence now, whether it's Georgia Southern or one of the other schools. So definitely go and check out their expanding collection of Georgia Southern swag, and save 10% by using code GATATALK, GATATALK at checkout. So yeah, we thank them. We apologize for not mentioning them before an hour and a half in, but yeah, we appreciate their support.
Well, as them being tech fans, hopefully they know that this is a week to get your frustrations out.
There you go. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, again, it just goes back to like, trusted and quality products. They invested in us, we invest in them by spread. and yeah, that's the theme, is like that can't be said for this football program right now. There's just not a lot of trust. There's not a lot of hope. There's not a lot of optimism.
Nope.
Align yourself with good people. Align yourself with people that have common goals and want to achieve success, not chase mediocrity. So
yes.
So that's that. Sorry for the depressing episode, but
No, I mean it would be depressing if they'd win. I mean, that's the thing. And gosh, I feel like this is what we've been doing this since Lunsford. So we've been so this is what really haven't had a season like this since 2021. But that was after we knew that Lunsford was gone and like how that season went. But this is if they would win, we wouldn't have depressing episodes.
Yeah, I know. I know. And
but there we go.
Yeah, there we go. So we'll see what happens after. I mean, we'll definitely
maybe we'll be a little bit more upbeat regardless of what happens next week.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe,
yeah. If we lose, I don't see how we can be upbeat at 5-7.
We can try. I don't know. It'll be a short.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But I was gonna say, do we even wait to record unless we hear something happens?
If we lose,
yeah.
Do we wait? I don't know. If we lose, I think we wait. We don't record right away. We wait probably a week or something. Hopefully it happens within 24, 48 hours, right?
Well, see, that's the thing in of itself. If it doesn't happen, then we have something that can come on and really like what is going on. Like
then we will.
If there's like no communication at all about staff or anything, and it's just like go home. We're all finals are here. You know what I mean?
See you next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we definitely will. We'll record one way or another. But yeah, maybe we let it. If we lose, if we win, we can get on. We can discuss bowl game because that will happen.
Yep.
If we lose, we might give it a couple days, and then hopefully some changes happen. Whether or not, depending on what those changes are,
we can at least talk about because any changes I think would be happen there, and there wouldn't be really anything afterwards. So we should, we can discuss it what they are. But
because we're not gonna like if it is,
we're not gonna fire one coordinator and then wait a month to fire the next one. Like that'd be crazy.
Correct. And we're not going to like hire the guy. We're not going to announce like a guy was hired. So whether it was a head coach or a coordinator. So we can talk about moving on from a coordinator, what we'd like to see. We could start throwing out some names and talking through that.
Stephen F. Austin, F. Austin's defensive coordinator.
They just want to they just clinched the conference title.
I think there's a connection to Statesboro and Georgia.
There is a connection.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
What we hear.
That's what we hear. They are very unconnected. What do we know?
As just research.
We're just bots, Cody.
We're just bots.
We're just AI.
Yes.
Really advanced AI.
Yes. That's what we should do. AI. An AI episode.
We could do that. Yeah. I could work something out. If we lose, maybe it's just an AI episode. Maybe it's just us. It's just us and it's just dubbed. I like that. We can look into that. Well, yeah. We'll pick it up.
We'll pick it up next week after whatever happens with Marshall. I mean, if you're waiting on a preview, sorry, but it is what it is. We're either gonna get smoked or we're gonna hang on by our thread and win. There's our preview.
I'll be watching because I'm a sicko and a glutton for punishment.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. So. Both. Yeah, I'll be driving back to Colorado and watching it, so hopefully it's more entertaining on the 22-hour drive back.
Have fun.
But so with that, regardless, as bad as things are, it's always going to be the same message to end this, Cody, and that's Hail Southern.
Hail Southern.
Okay.